Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys beating the New York Giants 20-15. It wasn't a clean win. It wasn't a great win, in my opinion. Obviously, a win's a win in the NFL. It's very hard for you to consistently get wins week in and week out. I understand that wholeheartedly, but you did not separate yourself to be like, okay, this is Dallas Cowboys that we know, and things of that nature. We're solving a problem offensively, moving the ball, getting CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, Cooks the ball consistently. We're still having troubles running the ball. We don't have any pass rush outside of Michael Parsons, which is very damning, especially with him having an injury. He was being carted off the field. Same with DeMarcus Lawrence. Hopefully those are just nicks and knacks just from the natural time of the season. We did play a short week. So I'll talk about all that and more after the intro. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content, man. And of course, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be anything of that nature. So what I am going to talk about, and what I am going to talk about most importantly, is the positives. We did get a win, so I'm not going to, harp on the team so much, but I do have to be critical when it comes to this football team. I can't say this is the Dallas Cowboys that we know. We're going to pick it back up, and we're going to go out there on Sunday night next time we play against the Pittsburgh Steelers and demolish them. I can't say that, especially with the issues that are very glaring. But what I am going to talk about, Dak Prescott was 22 of 27. 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, clean football game from him. That's exactly what we need, especially with the team. He understood the environment. He understood that, look, defense isn't playing that great. They need to lean on us. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott got it going. CeeDee Lamb was 7 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Ferguson was 7 of 49. Jalen Tolbert was 3 of 24. Brandon Cooks was 1 of 16. Rico was 1 of 15. Hunter Lepke, 2 of 14. Ezekiel Elliott, 1 of 5. And then Rico Dowdle got 11 carries for 46 yards, averaging 4.2 yards a carry, which was really great for him. Ezekiel Elliott getting 5 carries for 19 yards, but averaging 3.8 yards a carry. CeeDee Lamb got 3 of 8. Hunter Lepke got 2 of 8. And then Dak Prescott had 2 carries, but those were just kneel downs. And then it was that one play that he did keep on that keeper. He gained at the line of scrimmage, and he didn't want to get tackled or bruised up or anything like that, so he just went down. But defensively, we did our thing today. We got an interception. We only allowed 15 points. I liked what we did offensively. Defensively, but the problem I do have defensively is that I don't know what's going on in the secondary, but we're not communicating, we're not shifting around, we're not following our zones. We're just something. When I see the All-22 and I see people break it down, I'll be able to put it into better words. But from the TV copy I was able to watch on Amazon Prime, we're having a lot of coverage busts. I saw Malik Neighbors do his thing in the secondary, and our secondary right now is very atrocious. Outside of Trey Diggs, nobody's, everyone, they're throwing the ball at everybody else. Jordan Lewis are not going to really try to throw out, but the NFL, they're trying to get these deep passes in, right? So any single person that's on that perimeter, they went at Booth. Booth got burnt and torched so bad that they had to take him out and put in the former Giant, Amari Omoruyi, former corner from the Detroit Lions, played with the New York Giants and things of that nature. So he did solid by getting the game-sealing interception. But we just had a bunch of coverage busts. We had a bunch of times where I saw Malik Neighbors was wide open in the middle of the defense. I understand that's something that we have to fix with our linebackers as well. So, tackling was a major issue in today's game. We weren't tackling that good. DeMarvin Overshown easily looked like one of your best defensive players. It was him. It was Marshawn Nealon looked really good, and so did Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith looked incredible in today's showing. Am I going to put a lot of stock into it? I should, because this is the best game that he's had as a pro since being a Dallas Cowboy. So I understand that I'm not going to, again, I don't want to poo-poo on his day. He had a really good day today. I'm very proud of him. But nobody on that Giants offensive line can compete with a guy like Mozzie Smith in the interior section. So Mozzie Smith did his thing today, but what is he going to look like versus Detroit when they got real dudes at the interior of that offensive line? What is he going to look like versus the interior of Zach Frazier, Isaac Solomilu, and those guys next week? How is he going to look like versus those guys? And we have to figure that out fast, because if he's just going to be what the Dallas Cowboys are going to be, they're going to beat up on pretty mediocre, bad teams. You know, if Molly Smith looks really good versus really bad offensive lines, but then when it's time to get into these dominant offensive lines and these run schemes, is he going to make any impact? Can he make the same impact that he made tonight onto other games? So he has 10, 11 days to rest, recover, watch film, get better, work on his technique, things of that nature. But I was really proud of Mozzie Smith. DeMarvin Overshown obviously looks like the best defensive player on our team, and there should have been no reason why in that Saints game he didn't get the... Eric Kendricks did not look good today. Malik Hooker dropped the interception. He missed some tackles as well. Donovan Wilson just looks terrible. And I saw Marquise Bell on the sideline today, you know, nursing an ankle injury that he suffered on a special teams play versus the Baltimore Ravens last week. Prayerfully, he can come back and make some plays. I'm very concerned about Micah Parsons. I mean, I don't think it's too bad. When I saw the play, it looked like he just got rolled up on. So if it's just a rolled up ankle, he should be able to recover and be ready for that Pittsburgh Steelers game. But that's enough from the defense, and they have their own issues that they have to go out and figure out. But the one thing I do want to harp on that will cost us in games versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Atlanta Falcons, those are your next 4 games. You have a bye week after the Detroit Lions game. If you can't get to Fields consistently with Micah in the line, but using Micah in a good way to generate other pass rush on the opposite end, I know we're not going to get a lot with Law. I need somebody else to step up. I need somebody else who can fill in at that defensive end spot. So that's why we can put Micah over the center, over the guard, and he can pass rush and move on slower centers and guards. Basic football, something we've been able to do in the past, but we just don't have the horses for this race, as they would say. But we don't have the horses and the defensive line room to go after Daniel Jones in today's showing. There was a bunch of times when Daniel Jones was just patting the ball. He was in his stance, he was just patting it, and then would roll, extend, and throw to somebody. It's like our pass rush is atrocious, and I don't know what we're going to be able to do to fix it. Again, I came up both ways. Like, we should have signed Yannick Ngakoue. I said that after Sam Williams had went down, and I said that Sam Williams was our second best natural pass rusher. How are we going to fill in that lane? I understand Marshawn Kneeland is a really great run defender, and he can close a gap on some of those quicker quarterbacks. You know, Daniel Jones isn't the quickest. He isn't like Lamar, but Marshawn Kneeland did a really good job today getting his first sack. But pass rush, we cannot get home without Micah. We can't generate any pressure without Micah, or the offensive line finally wearing out, and then Osa comes in and takes a horrible angle, and then quarterback dodges him easily and just makes a play. So I would like to trade for a guy like Hassan Reddick, but Hassan Reddick is sitting out, and he has been sitting out for 4 weeks of NFL football because he hasn't gotten a contract. So I know we can't trade for a guy like him. I know Randy Gregory right now is on the free agency market. I know he's a knucklehead, but I mean, that's something you possibly have to look at. You also have to look at guys who you can trade for, because right now you don't have any pass rushers. And what are you going to do when Micah's out? What happens if Micah can't play versus the Steelers? We're screwed. Another thing I'm going to talk about in today's showing, the offensive line. The offensive line was, from what I saw on the TV broadcast view, again, everybody can break it down once the NFL puts it on Game Pass and everything of that nature. But the offensive line was terrible today. Tyler Guyton had a bunch of holding penalties. Terrence Steele got easily moved out of the way by Kayvon Thibodeau. The interior, for the most part, did their job. For the most part, from what I saw, I didn't see a whole lot of times when Dak Prescott had pressure in his face. And thank you to Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, Zach Martin / TJ Bass for holding their own when they had to block a guy like Dexter Lawrence. But what is this offensive line going to do next week? Like, that's my thing, is like, you got Keanu Bitten, you have Cam Hayward, you got Alex Highsmith, you got Nick Herbig, you have TJ Watt. And I don't like TJ Watt versus any of our tackles. So what are we going to do? You know, offensively, from the offensive scheme-wise, we don't have a good offensive scheme. 3rd and 12, you throw a flat pass, you do a table route or wherever the case want to be, a quick out route out of the backfield to a guy in Hunter Lepke on a 3rd and 12. If we were playing a better team, we needed a first down. I'm not throwing in a Hunter Lepke on 3rd and 12 quick out of the backfield. Maybe if it's 2nd and 15, I would to get a couple, maybe 5 or 6 yards to make this down more manageable. But that was a bad play call. You saw how Malik Nabers he never stood still once he broke the huddle and at the snap of the ball. He would break huddle, he would be in one spot, he would motion, or he would act like he would go in one way, they would cut across the other formation before everyone's fully break the huddle and, while everyone's lining up. So that was Brian Daboll doing that. Brian Daboll's not a bad coach. I just don't think that they have the adequate player at quarterback to fully enhance a guy like Brian Daboll, because you saw what he was able to do with a guy like Josh Allen. So I'm not going to crap on Brian Daboll. I think he's a really good coach. I just don't think he has what it has to take at quarterback. So he knows that, and it might cost him his job because of it, but it is what it is. But offensively, we need to figure out our scheme. I don't know who needs to get cussed out. Everyone talked about that. After that San Francisco butt whooping, CeeDee Lamb, everybody had to go cuss out Mike McCarthy for CeeDee Lamb to get the ball and have the season that he needed to have. What are we going to do with a guy like Brandon Cook? Supposed to be our second best wide receiver, but he had one catch today with 16 yards. So what are we doing? So our run game is so atrocious. I don't think you can run the ball anybody adequate. Again, Zeke doesn't look good. Deuce Vaughn isn't somebody that we really like to use in the run game too much now. You have to give Dalvin Cook a look. You have to. With the way this running back room has looked, you have to bring up a guy like Dalvin Cook. And if you got to cut Zeke, do it. But we need to utilize this run game and give Dalvin Cook a spot. If Dalvin Cook can do something, he looks a little bit more explosive than what we have behind Rico Dowdle, then that's going to be your second running back. And then you'll have to figure out how to scheme up this run game with Rico and Dalvin Cook if that's the new move. If Jalen Tolbert is going to come into his own form, we need to give him more spots for him to get open. Dak Prescott is not afraid to look at him. He really trusts him. He really gained his trust over the past 2 years. So hopefully we utilize Jalen Tolbert a little bit more, as well as Ferguson. Put him in what we're doing today, quick action, boot, throw it to him on tight end dump offs and screens and things of that nature. We have a lot of things to work on. I understand that we did win. It's better to be 2-2 than rather be 1-3, sitting on that hot L for 10, 11 days while you're prepared for the Steelers. So you're 2-2. The Dallas Cowboys need to make moves. Now, it's too late. Again, they should have made these moves 6 months ago. But now you're going to have to utilize your future draft capital to make room. So fire Jerry Jones, and that's pretty much it. That's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.